Welcome back, everybody. This is Dave, XRP Lion. It's Saturday, mid-morning, and I've got some exciting news. I did a post earlier on my Twitter page identifying the fact that the mayor of Zimbabwe came out and identified the fact that they have now just created the ZIG, the Zimbabwe gold-backed currency. It's fantastic. I want to go ahead and cover this fairly quickly, covering the highlights. And then in the end, I want you to hear from him directly. So what's happened? They've unveiled a new currency called the ZIG, and it's a bold monetary overhaul. Now, we knew this was coming. And how do we know this was coming? Well, we knew that they had to get the currency lined up with regards to the ZIM buyback. And if you remember correctly, I pointed out the fact that the Asian elders had purchased all the assets above the ground and made the guarantee that they would buy back all the ZIM bonds and they would use the gold. This is this process taking place right now. And because they couldn't just pay it in gold, they had to convert the gold into currency. And that's the reason why they have this new gold-backed digital currency. So they've introduced this new currency, and it was announced by the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe, the governor. And I'm just going to call him John. And he's new. He replaced their third generation mayor. There was a lot of corruption there. But this is part of a long-awaited 2024 monetary policy. So we're introducing the ZIG, which stands for Zimbabwe Gold. It's so exciting. This is really exciting. And it marks a significant shift in the nation's financial landscape. It's a new dawn for Zimbabwe's economy. And the new currency comes in denominations of 1, 2, 5, 10, 50, 100, and 200. And then there'll be coins for half and a quarter ZIG. So what does all this mean? It means with effect from today, banks will be able to convert the current Zimbabwe dollar balances to ZIG. So they're going from their, in essence, fiat or fractional currency to the gold-backed. Now we know that the Asian elders are putting up all the gold. They've already done it. So this is truly a gold-backed currency. Now, they're giving the local people a period of 21 days or a 21-day window to exchange their old ZWL notes for the new currency. And in the article, it said, I don't believe in taking people's money. This man appears to be extremely honest, and that's why he was put in this position. The ZIG will circulate with other currencies in a basket, and you'll hear him talk a little bit about that. But, well, I'll cover that when we listen to him talk. And here's what they look like. The ZIG. So here's our 10. Let's start up here. Here's our 50. Here's our 100. Here's our 20. And here's our 10. Now, interestingly enough, what was noted was the fact that the paper does not feel like paper for a currency. They said it feels like bond paper, like what you would print a bond on. And rightfully so, right? Oh, they even have his name on here. Awesome. Very nice. I wasn't quite sure if they were going to get that done. But you can see they've got the security features in it. Wow. That's my first chance of really taking a good hard look at it. You can see it says ZIG, watermark right there. ZIG 50, etc. And this transition to the ZIG, it says, what do you need to know? The interbank rate. as of April 5th. And that will be used to convert the Zimbabwe dollar balances to ZIG. So starting Monday, everything's happening on Monday. The citizens are encouraged to deposit their Zimbabwe dollar notes into the banks, with those holding 100,000 ZIM or more. And if you notice, it says they're required, let's see, with those holding 100,000 more, they're required to explain the source and the reason for holding such large amounts. Now, didn't we talk about this, Tex Ritter, and how the way to eliminate the drug cartels and organized crime and everything which would hold large sums of cash, where we would have that bank holiday? This is their bank holiday. 21 days. And how many times have I talked about 21 days with regards to Daniel? 3 weeks to form a new habit. I mean, this is all biblical, everybody. I mean, this is so biblical on a giant scale. And this was one of the last things that we were waiting for. They had to get this paper printed. You just don't do that overnight. And look at how everything is converging. Remember when I did the calendars, the Julian to Gregorian to Hebrew, and I talked about the fact that everything was converging and how we're moving back towards the Julian calendar. There's specific reasons for that. And all night yesterday and this morning, just incredible downloads from the Lord. Hallelujah. With regards to what's taking place. I mean, he's reading me in on so many things right now. I'm just like, Lord, where do you want to go with this? What do you want to put out there? So I'm going to be putting something out with regards to April 8th. Because it's not what it appears. I'm just going to leave it at that for right now. But I imagine when you see it, it will all make sense. I put this together, and this kind of, I call it the circle of life. And it shows exactly what's transpiring. So here we are. And this is the gold from the Asian elders. This was step 1. This was their guarantee. It's going to the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe to cover their currency, their digital currency. So this is how it gets funded. Remember, they guaranteed that they would cover it. They'd pay for it. So that leads into the ZIM bonds. Step 2. Step 3 is we take our ZIM bonds to the redemption center for the redemption of the ZIM notes. Now, I want to say this. There is so much disinformation going out with regards to the ZIM bonds. And they're talking about the size of the paper and this and that. And I just want you to know that I've spent so much time vetting all of this. And they're just trying to discourage people. And it's almost comical that it would come out last night, trying to discredit the ZIM bonds. So whoever has these talking heads putting out this information, it's on purpose. It's on purpose. So just know what you hold. Stay resolute in the knowing that God is taking care of everything. REST, resist every stupid thought, because they're bringing stupid stuff, stupid information to discourage you. So don't be discouraged. This is great news. And remember I told you the Lord told me I could not reveal the rate? I still can't, but I will tell you this. I confirmed it with what I had before. And we're still there, right on track. Matter of fact, it's worth a little bit more now because gold's been going up. So with that being said, let's take a look and see exactly what he had to say. I think you'll find it extremely interesting, and then I'll do a little narrative on it.
Introduction of a new structured currency. I've been receiving questions to say, what is a structured currency? And let me read the definition of a structured currency for all of you to see, to understand. A structured currency is generally defined as a currency that is pegged to a specific exchange rate or currency basket and backed by a bundle of foreign exchange assets, potentially including gold. This means that a central bank can only issue domestic notes and coins when fully backed by a foreign reserve currency or foreign exchange assets, and that the currency is fully convertible in the reserve currency on demand. That is the definition of a structured currency. The structured currency that we are introducing as Zimbabwe is going to be backed by a basket comprising foreign exchange that we already hold in our nostro accounts and precious metals that we are collecting as royalties from precious minerals that are being mined in this country. And we are holding these as reserves at the central bank, and these comprise mostly gold.
So notice what he said. First thing he said was structured payouts. And that was one of the things that I identified at the Redemption Center. Now, I qualified it because I don't believe that the general public is going to fall into structured payouts based upon the number of ZIM bonds that they would be holding. Now, anybody that was in Tier 1 through Tier 4, automatic, because they just hold so much. And they can't put all of that currency out there right up front. But the other key point is having your own humanitarian initiative trust, where you're actually going to control your humanitarian projects, which means you're going to have access to all of it. We'll see. We just want to hold that loosely. But I thought you would find it very, very interesting, his terminology. There was another short video that I may or may not add to this when I go into post-production. And he's being asked by a reporter about the program. And he's a little bit elusive in the respect that there are things I'm sure that they don't want advertised for the country. And that has to do with probably the sheer amount of money that's being distributed, such that, oh, I got to be careful how I put this, because I want to put it in the right light for everybody. We've been given an opportunity to be blessed beyond imagination. And that's because we are going to be servicing humanity going forward. 99.9% of the population will not be. So they won't be entitled to the benefits. Doesn't mean they couldn't. It just means they chose not to. So we want to consider ourselves extremely blessed and fortunate to have this opportunity. And as I said from the very beginning, with this opportunity, with this blessing comes tremendous responsibility. And God has declared that we be great stewards of this money. And I sense the feeling upon him that, I mean, he's already read in. Completely read in on everything. But it's not something you can just hand out to people. Because as the Lord pointed out, you can do a lot of financial damage and harm to people by putting them in a situation they're not prepared for. And I know you're all going to do the right thing when it comes to deciding how that gets handled. But I am so excited. I tell you, when I did that post last night and I saw that come through, it was like, hallelujah. You know, I'm just standing in the gap, and the Lord's just reassuring me about everything. And of course, it's not like I have any doubt. It's like I'm just like everybody else. You know, I have the want to keys too. And I'm looking in the window and I'm seeing it. And I'm like, gosh, Dave, look at that. And I keep looking at the sign that says not open, you know. But there's no time that tells me when. But with what's been taking place and what I put on the calendar and the timing of everything, I mean, there couldn't be a better time. There could not be a better time. And we're just going to be prepared. You're going to have your humanitarian trust, your humanitarian initiative trust done. And when I say done, it's complete. It's printed off. It's notarized. You've got your copies. You've got all of your currencies sorted by denomination and by country. You've got your tally sheets completed. You've got your Ziploc bags with each one of the currency by denomination and country, paper clipped with a Post-it on it with the note on the top. So you are so organized that when you walk in the door and they see exactly what you've done, there's no doubt you're a professional in their mind. There's no doubt you're going to operate your humanitarian initiatives with the highest regard. And that's exactly what you want. But unfortunately, there's going to be some people that don't take heed to this message. And it's kind of like the parable of the 10 virgins. If you're not prepared, and if we were to go 2 weeks from now, and the internet was off and there was no way to get to your forms, you're going to be out of luck. So please, get it done this weekend. I made it foolproof. You have the easiest task to complete it. And you've had a long time to do that. So I will end it here, but I am so excited. If anything new pops up, I'll make sure I let everybody know. And just keep your eye peeled for the revelation that's going to be released within the next couple of days. God bless.